morning to all of you. My name is Selina Joy, and I'm the Director Administration at International Women's Federation of Commerce and Industry, India National Chapter. It's my pleasure to be your host for this IWFCI Women Entrepreneur Awards 2023 today. At the outset, I'd like to welcome Ms. Diana Abruzzi, the founder and international chairperson of IWFCI in our midst. I warmly welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Rajesh Dembla, angel investor and founder of Zoozle. I invite the board of directors of IWFCI, Dr. Daphne Pillai, Dr. Emma Ramchandran, Ms. Yvette Lee, and IWFCI members who have joined us from all over the world. A special shout out to Vinu Pillai and her team, and Fua and Chan. Thank you for joining us today. I heartily welcome the representatives of our sponsors, Trident Motors Private Limited and Yes Bank, whose support we greatly appreciate and are grateful for. We welcome the representatives of William Penn and Himalaya Wellness Company, who have sponsored the gifts for our awardees. I also extend a warm welcome to all the applicants of the awards, the awardees, their friends and family members who have joined us today. We cordially welcome the members of the Pillai's Group's Institution Innovation Council to the session. We all know that the past few years have seen a growth of women venturing into and succeeding as entrepreneurs, and nothing begets success like success. According to media reports, over 20% of MSMEs in India are owned by women entrepreneurs, which amounts to 23.3% of the labor force. Also interesting is that 50% of India's startup ecosystem is empowered by women in some way. This slow but sure change has been made possible by organizations like IWFCI India, among others, who encourage more and more women to take the lead as entrepreneurs. The journey, no doubt, is arduous and long at times, but the benefits to society is immeasurable, and for the women themselves, a big leap to economic freedom and financial independence. I'm reminded of a quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg, an American advocate for gender equality and women's rights, who wonderfully said, and I quote, "As women achieve power, the barriers will fall. As society sees what women can do, as women see what women can do, there will be more women out there doing things, and we'll all be the better for it." I now request Dr. Daphne Pillai, founder president of IWFCI India National Chapter, to share her opening remarks. But before that, a quick introduction to her. As you know, she's a founder president of IWFCI India and a visionary leader wearing many hats. At IWFCI, she has championed many initiatives for women entrepreneurship. She is the chairperson of the management board of Mahatma Education Society that runs the Pillai Group of institutions. It's a leading educational group with over 30,000 students studying in its 6 large campuses in Mumbai. Empowerment through education has been at the heart of everything she does. She is also the founder president of Soroptimist International Bombay Chamber, an NGO that works for the welfare of girls and women, and the parent body Soroptimist International has a seat at United Nations. She has spoken at various fora and has won many awards for her pioneering work. Dr. Daphne Pillai, over to you.
Thank you, Selina. The International Women's Federation of Commerce and Industry, IWFCI, is a women's chamber of commerce founded by the visionary Miss Diana Abruzzi, who we are privileged to have with us today. Originated in Australia, IWFCI has emerged as a vibrant organization with a multi-continental presence today. Ms. Abruzzi started off with the noble cause of empowering women in business. After over 30 years, the organization has become an integral part of women-centric business ventures across the world. By supporting other chapters and acting with lightning speed to take advantage of new government trends and policies, IWFCI provides its members with opportunities and connections which would not have been within their easy reach. Likewise, it was Diana's vision to enter into the education space and IWFCI Global, IWFCI India, and the Pillay Institute launched the first ever Global Trade Certificate Program in November 2022, specific to India-Australia trade to groom participants on all aspects of global trade. The IWFCI India National Chapter Women Entrepreneurship Award has been instituted to encourage, recognize, reward, and celebrate women entrepreneurs who have established successful businesses and have been able to forge ahead in spite of numerous barriers that have come their way. These women entrepreneurs have to be acknowledged and supported, and the IWFCI India platform will give them the visibility to enable them to continue contributing to the growing entrepreneurship ecosystem in the country. This year, IWFCI India National Chapter will be giving 3 awards. A special award has been assigned for a woman entrepreneur who has achieved tremendous success in her business worldwide. There will also be awards given to an outstanding business entrepreneur and an outstanding social entrepreneur who have made significant contributions to industry and to the community. Their names will be announced later in the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pillay. Your words of wisdom and vision continue to motivate and guide us. We would now like to share a video of the various chapters of IWFCI. Thank you. It's now time to invite Ms. Diana Abruzzi to speak. And Dr. Pillay has already given a good description and an introduction to Diana. But nonetheless, a brief introduction. She's, as you know, the international chair and founder of the IWFCI, having founded this first chamber of commerce for women in the world at that time in 1992. A true visionary indeed. She's a pioneer and leader in the cause of free enterprise and economic development, and is an exceptional contributor and inspiration for all who come in contact with her. We're absolutely delighted to have you in our midst, Diana. And Diana will be speaking on the topic, the building of the entrepreneurial mindset impacting global economies. Over to you, Diana.
Thank you, Dr. Joy. Hello and good afternoon, everybody. I've been asked to speak to you on the building of an entrepreneurial mindset impacting global economies. You know, as I reflect over the years as the founder and global chair of IWFCI, I realized I have had the privilege and the opportunity to talk with so many women on similar matters, from the very poor to the very wealthy, from many, many different nations. In this time, it has never ceased to amaze me at the growing number of women-owned operators, SME entrepreneurs, with their ability at finding niche markets, with their creativeness, passion, and drive. I therefore cannot at this time impress upon you enough. The intelligence of any entrepreneur is the greatest gift anyone can give their country, because you are their future. And never despise small beginnings, as each small beginning can grow and have an impact on so many people's lives, To destroy that in anybody actually closes the mind of some of our greatest discoveries. Because entrepreneurs play a vital role in our economy by creating new jobs, driving innovation and economic growth. When entrepreneurs start new businesses, they not only create jobs for themselves, but also for others. In addition to creating jobs, entrepreneurial activity also has the potential to influence a country's economic performance through the introduction of new methods, products, and production process on the market. For example, startups are often at the forefront of innovation, developing new technologies and bringing them to the market. This can lead to increasing competition and productivity gains across the economy as a whole. Moreover, as startups scale up and become larger companies, they can drive even more economic growth through job creation, exports, and other activities. So let's have a look at the mental attitude of an entrepreneur and how they overcome obstacles and keep going. Because this is the key to your mental attitude in running a successful business. Entrepreneurs are most likely to be driven to do something that they are passionate about, to create something new. These same women share the same characteristics, the same spirit of enterprise, and have the potential and the power to transform their communities. And that is what our nations need, women with vision and go. Entrepreneurs have the instinct or gut feeling as to whether an idea has a commercial viability. And no textbook can verify that women have that inbuilt instinct and quality far stronger than men. I don't claim entrepreneurs are heroes, angels, or saints, but I do believe they are the indispensable agent of change, growth, and improvement in a free society. They're unconventional, unreasonable, and they are almost always driven individuals who drive and inspire others. They are driven by many things: a willingness to take risks, a restless problem-solving energy, an ability to live with uncertainty, a determination to prove skeptics wrong, and a relentless persistence in the face of seeming failure. But when pursuing a personal goal, it's inevitable at some point you will think one or more of the following. This is harder than what I thought it would be. Why is this taking so long? I'm getting nowhere with this. I keep failing at this goal. I can't do this. What was I thinking? If I knew what I was going to, if it was going to be this hard, I would not have started. But I say to you, when you do have one or more of these thoughts, it is very likely that you will want to give up. But do not. I cannot express that more. Do not give up. There were times in the early years of IWFCI, I experienced doubt in what I was doing. Starting my organization in 1992 with an idea and 60 business cards, little did I know at the time how I would have to battle the establishment who do not want a separate chamber of commerce for women. Subsequently, I was blocked from using the term Chamber of Commerce. Therefore, I decided to call my startup an International Women's Federation of Commerce and Industry, which sparked my vision of women trading the globe that has since materialized into branches across the globe, where members' national chapters network, support, learn and trade with each other. with our annual Global Women's Trade Summits rotated throughout our country chapters for trade and investment, a true federation of nations. Had I given up, we would not be here today. Or would have seen the global expansion of IWFCI branches around the world, where our members are currently now trading with each other. But it took passion, persistent doggedness to achieve our goal and never, never giving up. The question is, what are you going to do to build the right mental attitude to strive in your business? Well, I say to you, never, never give up and adopt I won't quit mindset. Now, giving up is a mindset, and it is a mindset that you can adapt. What you do need is to constantly tell yourself the following: I persist when things get tough. I will either find a way or make a way. Every problem has a solution, and I have the perfect ability to find it. Remember that. Every day, I gain more knowledge and insight about what works and what doesn't, which means I am getting stronger and wiser. Setbacks are temporary. I will find a way through this. And finally, think, what is the best thing to do right now? Having an I won't quit mindset will make it much easier for you to persist and refuse to give up until you achieve your goals. And even if you haven't seen results yet, you never know what may be happening underneath the surface or what is coming around the corner. Mahatma Gandhi said, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. So let's look at the other very important equation for the right mental attitude, and that is your emotional intelligence. With the improvement of your emotional intelligence, EQ, which is your ability to sense and empathize, when it comes to happiness and success, you will find EQ does matter just as much as IQ. So why is emotional intelligence so important? Because it's not the smartest people who are most successful or the most fulfilled in life. You probably know people who are academically brilliant and yet are socially inept and unsuccessful at work or in their personal relationships. Intellectual ability or your intelligence quotient, IQ, is not enough on its own to achieve success in life. Yes, your IQ can help you get into college, but it's your EQ that will help you to manage the stress and emotions when facing your final exams. IQ and EQ exist in tandem and are most effective when they build off and complement one another. The skills that make up emotional intelligence can be learnt at any time. However, it is important to remember that there is a difference between simply learning about EQ and applying that knowledge to your life. Just because you know you should do something does not mean you will, because when you become overwhelmed by stress which can override your very best intentions. In order to permanently change behavior in ways that stand up under pressure, you need to learn how to overcome stress in the moment and in your relationships in order to remain emotionally aware. The 4 key skills for building your EQ and improving your ability to manage emotions and to connect with others are 4 things: self-management, self-awareness, social awareness, and relationship management. If you can master these qualities, You can master the universe. So finally, in closing, let me finish by saying this. To build the right mental attitude to strive in your business, you must conquer your fears every day until you forget what they were. And no matter what is happening around you, because we are all living in times, almost all of us, in times that we have no control over. But I say to you, have peace, live by faith, trust in God, and stick close together in the fellowship and the support of IWFCI. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. That was such a motivating, inspiring, and wonderful talk. The importance of having a right mindset, of course, cannot be overemphasized. It's now time for the keynote address by Mr. Rajesh Dembla, angel investor and founder of Zoozle. I request IWFCI Director, Dr. Rama Ramchandran, to introduce Mr. Dembla to all of us. As you're aware, Rama Ramchandran is the Director Services of IWFCI India. After 21 years of a career in banking with ANZ Brindleys and Stanchart across various different verticals like international trading, credit cards, retail, and wealth management, she's now engaged as a business development consultant. She was a past national president of Indian Association of Admin Professionals, which is a 40-year-old association with 6 chapters across the country. She was also the National Program Action Chairperson of the National Association of Soroptimists International. Over to you, Rema.
Introducing Rajesh Dembla, founder of Zoozle N, building India's largest micro-distributor network of digital commerce. Some of the list of his achievements. He's been an investor in Dunzo, also backed by Google and Reliance, Decentro Y Combinator 2020 and Series A in 2023. Alt DRX, world's first trading platform for real estate 1 square foot at a time, was Group Vice President, Global Operations, Just Dial Limited. His portfolio includes some of the largest companies across medtech, media, food tech, gaming, fintech, and many more. From being bootstrapped to IPO, listen to his version of how it's done. What people do once in their lifetime, he has done it thrice and is still hungry for more. Over to you, Rajesh.
A women leader that I have come across is Rama ma'am. She's always so enthusiastic and so honest and so approachable. So yes, I mean, with leaders like her and many others in your team, I'm sure you've got a beautiful team there. I have been asked to speak about my journey in about 15 minutes. So I'll try my best to do what I can. So first and foremost, my role, I basically wear 2 hats. I wear a hat of a entrepreneur, where I develop businesses like Zoozle, and then find able leadership teams. And apart from that, I also am an angel investor in India. Also, there are some startups across outside of India as well, but most of them are now headquartered out of India. So that's what I do. What is it that excites me? One of the things that excites me is where the world is today, where India is today. If you just look at the amount of innovation and disruption that's happening in our lives, you will be absolutely surprised. If you just rewind your lives to about 10 or 15 years back and look at the way you live today, you will see what entrepreneurship has done to the world. If you actually just look at everything that you do day to day, for example, the way you buy things, for example, the way you pay for things, for example, the way you search for information, for example, the way you find appointments for your meetings, everything has got disrupted in the last 15 years. The world has kind of changed on its head. So what does that mean for us, right? All of us in this room today that we are talking, Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur or is part of an venture which is trying to change the world. So what it means is, if the world has changed to this extent in the last 15 years, it's going to change a lot more in the next 5 years. Okay. And the next 5 years, everything that you're doing today, everything that I'm doing today is going to change thanks to technology, thanks to hardware devices that are coming with mind-blowing capabilities. So everything is basically going to be omni-channel. Whatever you're doing offline in the world today is going to be, offline and online combination. So as an entrepreneur, if you are running a business, right? So I will talk about my journey, and in that I'll try to tell you what I have realized. One of the things that I have realized as an entrepreneur is that the world is changing every day. Your consumer is changing every day. Your competition is changing every day. Every morning when I wake up, the first thing that I do is ask myself, am I and my business is still relevant? And that's exactly, I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you honestly, the world is changing. What was relevant yesterday may not be relevant today. And if you do not adapt on a daily basis, if you are unable to change your strategies to adapt to today and tomorrow, you will realize that businesses are no longer going to be relevant. It's going to be extremely difficult for businesses to make money, going further, thanks to technology giving everything free of cost to people. That is something that I have developed as an entrepreneur, a habit to wake up every morning and look at how relevant am I in the industry today. The other things that I have realized along the way is that if I don't disrupt myself and within my businesses, if I can't disrupt, if I can't, add value, which was in there yesterday, somebody else will. And that somebody else will be my competitor. Somebody else will be somebody who is not even seen. I can't even see some competition because thanks to technology, the world has become small. What I mean is that your competition may be coming from a company based out of US or Australia or New Zealand, or it could be coming from Indonesia or India. It doesn't matter where your competition is coming from, but you are surely going to be disrupted by somebody that you can't see, because the whole world is thinking, how do I make my customers' life easy, right? That's something that I do every day. I ask myself every morning, what can I do to disrupt my own businesses? Can I disrupt myself before my competition can disrupt me? And my competition could be technology. My competition could be, a change in regulation. Now, if you just look at the Indian market, if you are in various businesses where regulation plays a crucial role, the regulator is changing the rules every day to make it a safer environment. The regulator is doing the right thing. Okay, sometimes entrepreneurs complain that the regulator doesn't understand. That's not true. The regulator surely understands. The regulator's job is to make your consumer's life safe and secure. But what it means for an entrepreneur is that if the regulation is changing, you have to adapt and you have to be ahead of that game. Otherwise, you become irrelevant and you don't even realize it. Many a times entrepreneurs have realized that regulation has changed maybe much later, and because they were not on top of the game, right? Innovation is key to that's the way I have lived. Every day we wake up and say, how do I innovate? How do I automate? How do I reduce my dependency on people? And this is not in a bad way. Okay. Many a times it's a very tricky situation to talk about. Should you reduce your dependency on people? The answer is yes, simply because people are a lot more expensive than technology. If you cannot automate a process in your business, you are waiting to be shut down. So what does it mean? Should we throw people out of their jobs? The answer is no. You need to help them skill up and become relevant in business. as you go along, which means that they need to get to use technology to do a job. For example, in Zoozle today, and I'll talk about Zoozle just in a bit. In Zoozle today, the total number of employees we have is less than 15, less than 1.5. That includes technology, that includes operations, that includes accounting and finance. And a few years ago, I couldn't have imagined running a scale of business. Like today in Zoozle, we are present across India. We have more than 27,000 resellers selling, on microsites of Zoozle. 27,000 people, which means the reach Zoozle has today is about, 5 million people. The consumer base is roughly about 5 million people that we are able to reach, and 15 people are managing this operation. That's thanks to automation, thanks to innovating day in and day out and looking at our business and saying, what part of our business can we avoid people doing, or running that process? So that's something that we do. One of the things that I have realized successful entrepreneurs do, and I have done it myself, is to be able to reach out and ask for support from the right people. That's another habit that I've inculcated. Every Monday morning when I wake up, I'm making a list of what support do I need in my business and who can I approach for that support. I'm not ashamed to go and ask for help, support, guidance, advice from my network of people. Or if I don't have somebody in my network, I go outside my network. I ask for people. Now, that's a habit that has helped me, to achieve some of the success that we have seen in various businesses, right? As an entrepreneur, every day we are facing challenges, and I'm sure you're facing challenges too. I already spoke about regulation changes. I already spoke about, many of you are managing probably cross-border businesses. Cross-border opportunities come up every day. And as an entrepreneur, if you don't keep your eyes open, if you're not reading about them, if you're not understanding what are those opportunities, probably you're going to miss the bus and somebody else is going to take that. Cross-border also brings a lot of threats, especially around the regulation of money, moving from one country to another. It's very critical to be on the right side of the regulation. So as an entrepreneur, these are some of the challenges. Other than this, there are a few other challenges that I face, and what I do. How I ask myself, how relevant is my product? I have built a product. Okay, great. Am I in love with it? If you are in love with your product, then you're already waiting to fail, right? You can be in love, with people around you, but not with your business and not with your product, because that needs to change at the speed of light. So, one of the things that you need to understand is your product. Is it still relevant? Is it still going to be important to your consumer? Understanding your customer, that's something that I think is one of the key roles as an entrepreneur. And I find that very challenging because your customer is changing every day. Somebody who was using an iPhone 10 versus somebody using an iPhone 15 tomorrow, if you're running an application, and you've got to optimize it. That's the simplest thing, right? That's one of the simplest things that you've got to do. But your customer is changing in every way possible. The way your customer is thinking, buying, decisions are being made, or paying. If you're not in touch with what your customer has changed to, you are going to be running a product that is not relevant anymore. The same applies to your employees. I mean, when I look at my employees, even though in Zoozle I have just 15, other companies there are many more. When I look at my employees, I realize that my employees' mindset is changing almost every week or every month, and I need to keep my business relevant enough for my employees to be excited. I need to change their roles, and I need to make their roles exciting enough. And that's my role as an entrepreneur. If I don't do that, my employees will lose interest and they will actually start looking for a change. And then, as entrepreneurs, many people complain that, people are not loyal anymore. The answer is people are always loyal, but they're loyal to their needs. As long as you can design your business and your, organization to match their needs, they'll stay with you, right? That's one of the most important things. One of the things that I have, seen many entrepreneurs struggle is to manage investor expectations. And I'll tell you one of these things: if you have investors on your company's cap table, your investors came into your business and invested, okay, based on a story that they heard, based on your plans that they heard, based on your current situation that they saw. But many investors fail to understand that every 3 months the market has changed, the opportunity has changed, and if the entrepreneur has to adapt to the change, obviously projections will change, revenues will change, and for the investor, to be able to understand that, it is the entrepreneur's role for me as an entrepreneur to educate my investors, saying that, hey, here are the changes. This is what is good. This is what is not good, and these are the changes that we are seeing. If you're not updating your investors every 3 months, you're going to be in for a surprise, because a few months later your investor will be banging on your door saying, hey, what have you done with my money? So that is something that I see as a role for an entrepreneur, and I do that every day. I look at opportunities for grants and subsidies. Many entrepreneurs are looking for equity funding. But I have always been somebody who's a big fan of grants and subsidies, or whatever money that we can get as a business from various organizations that are waiting to support us. Other than that, if in many of our businesses where our businesses are profitable, it's always better to look at debt funding than equity funding. Now, that's something I have realized over the years. There are many debt funds for startups that have come up around the world, and they're pretty good. The cost of money is low. So always as entrepreneurs, habit is to look for investors and give equity to them. My advice is, don't give away equity so easily. Hold on to equity. And try how how you can fund your business, in a different way. So these are some of my experiences as an entrepreneur. So before I hand over to Rama ma'am, I'll just share a little about my journey at Zoozle and my journey in life, right? So for those of you who don't know about my life, I had a very, very difficult childhood. I wasn't very lucky to get educated for a very long time, because we were in a lot of financial crisis as children. My family went through a lot of financial crisis, to such an extent that while I was in my teens, I was homeless for a few months, practically sleeping on the railway platforms in Bangalore. And after that, and since we are in this forum where there are so many women, hats off to my mom. Okay, my mother was the inspiration for Zoozle. She no longer, is with us. We lost her many, many years ago. But I just want to share this story about my mother, because we are in this forum talking about women, and I know how powerful women can be. My mother was widowed when she was in her, late 30s, and she had all of us kids to bring up, and we hit a lot of financial problems. We were in deep crisis. So I remember my mother would do two things to make some money, because she was not educated. She couldn't get a job, and in those days, jobs were not easy to get to. So she would make food products at home and sell it to people that she knew, or she would just go and buy some clothing, some saris in India, and from wholesale markets, and sell it to people in the network, and make a little bit of money. I saw the struggle that she went through. I was a teenager. I was about 12, when I saw this. I saw the struggle, and I can tell you, I wish no woman has to go through what my mother went, the amount of trouble to bring us up. What did that do to me? For many years after that, I'm guilty that I didn't do much about it. We lost her in the mid-90s. I didn't do much about it even after. But then a few years ago, I was reflecting upon my childhood, my life, and I asked myself, how many women are out there who are struggling, like my mother, even today? Uh, and what are we doing about them? Right. And believe me, I actually couldn't sleep for a few, weeks properly because the answer I got was, why are you looking at what nobody's done? The question is, what have you done? Right. And that's when I thought of an idea. I said, out of thin air, I pulled out a number. I thought there must be 2 million women in India who belong to the lower middle class, who are struggling to make ends meet, who are struggling to feed their children, who are struggling to educate their children, get their children married. In India, it's a big deal even today. Uh, I said, what can we do for them? And that's when I built Zoozle. Okay. What Zoozle does, let me tell you, Zoozle is an e-commerce enabler. Okay. We are a marketplace, Zoozle.in, as you can see. We are a marketplace which sells anything and everything that's possible, from grocery to cosmetics to clothes, footwear, bags, home decor, home furnishing, pet products, baby products, so on and so forth. There's no end to it. In some ways, we are like Amazon. Amazon sells everything. We intend to sell everything, right? It's very early days. We launched in April this year. As of now, we have close to 5,000 products that we sell on Zoozle. That's one part of it, what Zoozle sells. Now, the other part, which I spoke about, my mother's story, what we've created is an opportunity for any woman in India to become an e-commerce operator in a span of 3 minutes, in just 3 minutes. And if you are in India right now, I actually encourage you to experience it yourself, right? If you can pick up your phones and download the Zoozle Zen app, what it will do is the Zoozle Zen app allows you to become an e-commerce operator in less than 3 minutes. How does that happen? You just download our app and you create an e-commerce business in your own name, right? And you have, in less than 3 minutes, you have about 5,000 products to sell to your network. You don't need to hold inventory. You don't need to build technology. You don't need a payment gateway. You don't need to manage logistics. All you do is reach out to your network. What my mother did manufacturing herself, holding the inventory herself, managing payments herself. She had to do everything herself, and she could grow her business only to the extent of money she had. Okay, if she had 1,000 rupees, she could just hold that much inventory. But what we have created on Zoozle for women is we have created unlimited inventory. Inventory worth millions and millions of dollars for them to sell and make money out of. Up to 18% is the profit margin that our resellers make, and all with almost zero investment. At the most, it's 100 rupees a month if they opt for a higher program. The base program is free of cost. So I created Zoozle with one single intention, and that intention was, can I empower 2 million women in India to have a respectable living, to get access to the best technology in the world, as good as Amazon, if not better? Can they create a business in their own name? Can they make money within 3 minutes from the time they start a business without an investment? That was my brief to myself. And I said, okay, let's do this, because, probably someday when I go up and meet my mother, I'll be able to see her in the eye and say, Mom, I actually did something. I attempted something to empower women like you. So that was the story of Zoozle. Very early days. We are very, very excited about what we're doing. We have now 27,000 women in India who are already empowered with this. What I want to end with is to say that today, when I was listening to the introduction of IWFCI, I got very excited about something. And Diana, I want to make an offer to people from IWFCI around the world, in any country where you operate. Today, Zoozle operates only in India. And one of the things that I'm happy to do is we have the entire capability of launching Zoozle in any country. If a member of the IWFCI wants to launch Zoozle in any of their countries, we are happy to empower them with everything. In less than 30 days, we can set them up to start this business, right? And we can, thank you so much. We're very excited about countries like Indonesia. We're very excited about countries like Malaysia, anywhere in Africa, anywhere in Eastern Europe, anywhere in Middle East. And I will proudly, come and work with IWFCI partners around the world to launch this business. The investments are not much. We have already put in all the money that's required. We've built everything. In 30 days, we can launch this in any country. And thank you for this opportunity for me to speak. But the offer is to anybody who's part of IWFCI. Reach out to me. Rama ma'am, I'm happy if you share my email ID with anybody who's interested. I'm also happy if IWFCI itself wants to, somehow manage to be part of this. I'm very happy because I'm so impressed with what I see here. I was at your IWFCI event in Bangalore. I think it was in 2016 or 17. And I saw that room, I think it was at the Lalit Ashok. And I saw that room, there were hardly some 25 people in an offline event, 25 to 30 people in an offline event. And today, when I see this event and I see more than 100 people in this room, I can only imagine what you guys have been able to achieve over the last few years. And I want to say, I salute you for your, achievements. Very, very excited, and congratulations and all the best. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Dembla. Really, your journey was so moving. The story of your mom. We always hear this quote, necessity is the mother of invention. And you've really made her, I'm sure she's watching you up from heaven and feeling very proud of your achievements. Your tips on adapting to change really is the key. Your suggestions on innovating every day, asking for support, not to be shy, to be ready to accept the pace of change, keep understanding the changing customer, were all very, very invaluable to all our audience here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Your generous offer of setting up Zoozle in any of the countries is also most welcome. We have members from different, countries joined us here today, and I'm sure somebody will be more than happy to pick it up. Now we have two leading organizations, Trident Motors Private Limited and Yes Bank, as our sponsors for this event. So IWFCI is really pleased to have two leading sponsors, Trident Motors and Yes Bank. I now request the representative of Yes Bank, Ms. Archana Shirur, Chief Human Resource Officer, to say a few words. But before that, a quick introduction. Ms. Shirur is a seasoned leader with over 3 decades of work experience in the human resource domain. Her vast experience in the banking and financial services industry and ability to drive the overall HR strategy, large-scale transformation, and nurture cultural goals makes her an invaluable asset to Yes Bank's leadership team. Ms. Shirur has previously served as a head of HR for retail branch banking, government and institutional banking at HDFC Bank, where she oversaw a workforce of over 55,000 employees. Prior to her stint at HDFC Bank, she held senior HR roles at prominent companies in the banking and financial services industry, including Barclays, the Tata Group, the Development Credit Bank, among others. Ms. Shirur holds a master's degree in personal management from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management. Over to you, Ms. Shirur.
Thank you, Dr. Joy. Thank you so much. I hope I'm being seen and heard well. Thank you so much for that, for the introduction. And I think it's been a very interesting morning. So I think, honestly, it's a difficult act to follow Diana and Rajesh, who spoke so very well. And I'll be very honest, with all of you. I really didn't know much about IWFCI before this invitation came. And then when I looked you folks up, I realized the kind of vast work that you're doing eye-opening, and earlier Diana herself and Dr. Pillai also referred to it. So it's been very, it's been an eye-opener for me. I think right from the trade certifications to the summits to, of course, now the awards. So more power to all of you, and I look forward to associating with you a lot more. Whichever way I'm able to support, I'd be happy to do that. So quickly, I think, Rajesh touched upon it and so did Diana a little bit. I think, I just wanted to give a bit of backdrop, some numbers, right? Because it always helps to put things into perspective, and not because I work for a bank, but I think this subject, right, women entrepreneurship, if you just look at India as a country, right, we have our population, 47% are women. Interestingly, 40% women in India are graduates, right? So out of the total graduates, 40% are women. Out of the total postgraduates, 30% are women. However, having said that, more than 55% of all women in India are non-earning homemakers, right? And why am I giving these numbers? This is the backdrop against which we're talking about the subject that we're talking about today. Interestingly, BCG, whom all of you know, Boston Consulting Group, has said that there will be a 90% growth in women-led businesses in the next 5 years, right? 90%. So that's an amazing number. So we can already see there's a, what I would describe as a wave, right? That's coming our way. And I think organizations such as yours as well as Yes Bank are poised to take advantage of that, so we can help these women and we can really ensure that these numbers happen. It is also said that India, and I think, Diana, you referred to it when you talked about, participation of women in economic development, and what research is actually saying that India can grow in double digits if more women participate in the economy, right? So I think, why am I talking about all of these numbers? I think to say that we are poised, it kind of feels like an inflection point, right? And if you believe in the stars, then all of the stars aligning, sort of, if I can say that, to come together to make this happen. And of course, with entrepreneurs such as Rajesh, making a very generous offer, I think, we are all set. So, I just want to take a minute to talk about Yes Bank. We have something called the Yes Bank Foundation. And interestingly, some of the work that we're doing under the aegis of the foundation, couple of things that we do. We support rural women entrepreneurs in remote parts of India, right? And this is, entrepreneurship development training, of course, financial support, and all of that to be able to really stand on their own 2 feet. We also impart skills training, and we do this, not just in rural, but also in the rest of the country to underprivileged youth, right? And this is really more about the third aspect here is about employability. And within these youth, 30% are women, right? So recently I had the distinction of, attending a training session that we do for women through another organization that we work closely with, which just helps. These are all women who are the only breadwinners for their families, right? And we actually, through this organization, train them. And this is all happening in urban areas. So they actually end up getting employed in the retail sector, right? So all of the malls and other stores, etc. So very interesting work. And I think this is something that, and I truly believe that, like in some of the other sectors, right, the public private partnership, right? If we all as corporates, and perhaps even some of the, I won't speak for the public sector, but definitely the private organizations, I think if we came together and really supported this cause, we would be home and dry. And I thought I'd just talk about that because, Diana, you referred to participation of women in the workforce, how they can play a role in the economic development of the country. And of course, last but not the least, creating jobs, right? Because these women entrepreneurs are really creating these jobs. And I know we're already running against time. So I'm just going to give you one example. I had the distinction of hearing a lady called Chetna Gala Sinha. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard that name, but Chetna is a very, very interesting lady. She started something called the Mandeshi Foundation way back in 1996. And interestingly, in 1997, they started something called the Mandeshi Bank. Okay, now just think about this. You're talking about 1997, close to 3 decades ago. 6 women, along with her, decided that they want to open a bank. Now, just imagine that, many of you know, even some of the large conglomerates in India have not got a banking license. But these 6 women reached out to the regulator. They faced a lot of, resistance, right? I mean, who are you people? Why would you want to open a bank, etc., etc.? But they persevered and actually went ahead and opened a bank that obviously supports rural entrepreneurial pursuits of various women across the country. As of 2022, remember they started in 1997, they have supported 850,000 women and helped them with their banking and financial needs. So the point that I'm making with this, and because I've heard Chetna and she's so passionate about it, it takes just one person or a couple of people to get together and make something like this happen, right? So I just thought I'll leave that thought with everyone in the audience. It's your passion, it's your belief, it's your ability to stand strong and say that, against adversity, and there will be headwinds. I think Rajesh spoke about that also when he, spoke to us very candidly about some of the things that he faced. Those headwinds will come, right? But if you stand strong, if you have the conviction, right, in what you're doing, the support is available, and organizations such as us, IWFCI, of course, and entrepreneurs such as Rajesh, I think if we all come together, the sky's the limit, ladies. And with that, I will say thank you very much to the entire forum, and all the best to all of you. Anything that I can help with, Dr. Joy, Rama, please do feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Shirur. Your energy was infectious. The way you motivated. I mean, I'm sure so many of them who have joined, who want to take that first step, are really inspired by what you said. And we are really, really grateful. IWFCI is grateful to Yes Bank for its support for this event. And now it's time to recognize and celebrate the outstanding achievements of women entrepreneurs who have demonstrated excellence in their respective fields. We have had an overwhelming response to the IWFCI India Women Entrepreneur Awards 2023, which were in 2 categories, business entrepreneur and social entrepreneur. The jury had a tough time in selecting a winner in each category, and it was a very close call. At IWFCI, we believe that every applicant is a winner, but nevertheless, one winner in each category had to be chosen. But before we move on to the announcement of the awards, the IWFCI board has selected an exceptional women entrepreneur for a special award, the IWFCI India Women Entrepreneur of the Year Award 2023. And this award, we are happy to say, goes to Suhasini Sampath, the co-founder of Yoga Bar. Congratulations, Suhasini. The award was presented to her by IWFCI India Director, Dr. Rama Ramchandran in Bangalore. I take this moment to acknowledge our gifting partner for this event, William Penn, a brand that has long been associated with excellence, sophistication, and luxury. They have gifted Ms. Sampath a Schaefer Lapis Bard pen. Thank you, William Penn, for generously sponsoring a gift for this event. We also thank Himalaya Wellness Company for sponsoring a bag of beauty products, which was given to Ms. Sampath. I now invite Ms. Sampath to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Dr. Selena. Rema Madam has been extremely kind to me. Also, the stories that I heard today from Rajesh as well has been extremely touching. I think the only words that I want to say is, if my journey kind of inspires even one woman to kind of start something new, I feel my purpose has been achieved. I come from a very basic background as well, and it's taken several years to kind of build out yoga bars. And if it can inspire people to go forward and to just keep trying, right? The impact of just continuing your entrepreneurship journey is compounding. And my journey is kind of testament to that. Like there were many times in yoga bar's journey where we felt like we would, it would completely close down, or we would run out of funding, or we would think that, COVID struck just when the business was taking off. But I think the important thing to remember is to keep going on. And we are at a time in this country where people go out of their way to support women, just like this forum. Retailers want to keep women products. Everyone wants to go out and support women entrepreneurs. So there is no better time than today in kind of doing business. This forum is also a celebration of everything that we are and what we are capable of. And I take this opportunity to tell everybody to go out there and give it their best. So thank you for the generosity. Thank you for nominating me. Thank you for this award. It is a celebration of everything that we all are in this forum.
Thank you. Thank you, Swasini. It's a privilege, really, as a co-founder of Yoga Bar. We are so proud of all your achievements, and we are really happy that you are the Women Entrepreneur of the Year. It's now time to announce the 2 awards, 1 award in each category of Business Entrepreneur and Social Entrepreneur. We again would like to thank Trident Motors Private Limited and Yes Bank for sponsoring the awards. Each award comes with a cash award of 50,000 and a trophy. And now for the announcement of the awards. The award for the IWFCI India Women Entrepreneur in the category of Business Entrepreneur goes to Ms. Aruna Sampige for her company Roots Reforms Initiative Private Limited. Congratulations, Aruna. We are so proud of your achievement. I now invite Ms. Aruna to speak a few words about your company.
Hello, everyone. Firstly, I would like to thank IWFCI and the jury for finding me worthy of this award. Secondly, most importantly, family members, friends, and my colleagues who are in the call today, whose unwavering support and belief in our work keeps us going. So just a quick introduction of what we do. I hail from, again, a very small background, central Karnataka, a village near Davangere. After working in the corporate sector for 15 plus years, decided to incorporate Roots Reforms, mainly to connect with my roots, which is the rural India. So 15 years of journey was different. Worked with the large corporates in India as well as in Australia. Coming back to India in 11, wanted to connect with roots, as I said, and do something meaningful for the rural women and the farmers in general. So what we do is we connect the banks and financial services with the rural communities using a very unique women-led model called merchant banking correspondents. These merchant banking correspondents are the women in the rural communities that we pick, train them in using banking technologies, and connect them with the banking services and the other financial services to serve their communities. These women, before they join us, are really regular women in the rural areas with not much opportunities. So when they join us, we've designed the program in such a way that within 6 months, 8 months, they are independent, they're using technology and earning a decent income of 15,000 to 25,000, depending on the number of hours they do. So this is on one hand empowering women in the rural communities, but it's also serving their community with much needed financial services in a very effective way using technology. So for many of us, bank is only down the road. These days, it's in the fingertips in the form of an app, but it's not the same for rural communities. Even today, there are villages that are disconnected, and a banking access for women especially makes a lot of difference. So we focus on women in the rural communities and provide services like all ranges of loan products, micro loans, individual loans for livelihood, slightly larger ticket size loans for micro entrepreneurships, various types of insurance products, and general banking services as well. Simple things like withdrawal of money, deposits is also very difficult in the rural areas, and our women are facilitating this service. Today, we are present in 3 states. 400 women agents are operating. 180 team members are guiding, coaching, and handholding these women. Last 3 years, we've been operational on the ground and looking to scale this work both in terms of geography, in terms of the products and services that we are offering, and in terms of technology that we are using. Interestingly, earlier there was a mention about Mandeshi Bank. So we explored that option as well, and working on some interesting technology initiatives to take similar banking services focused on women in a digital way. In 1996, it was brick and mortar. And now, with all the technology advancement, how can we customize financial products and services to women in the tier 2, tier 3, and rural areas and take it in a very technology driven way? How can we give the same banks how we have them in the cities in their fingertips is what something that we are working on. And in this journey, somehow things are falling into place, the right people are joining, the right organizations are supporting, and today's IWFCI's recognition means a lot for us. It gives us the right type of credibility and visibility that's required to reach out to the network and make some of these things happen. So with that, I end my little speech and thank everyone involved in giving us this recognition. Thank you.
Thank you, Aruna. That was really a well-deserved. You're making a great impact, especially in the rural communities, and that's where we can see the whole change and the country change with that. The next award, the IWFCI India Women Entrepreneur in Social category, goes to Alina Alam, the CEO of Mitti Social Initiatives Foundation.
Hello, my name is Alina Alam and I started Mitti Cafe with the dream of showing the world the magic of abilities. We run a chain of cafes across the country managed completely by wonderful adults with physical, intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. When I started Mitti Cafe, I started Mitti with zero startup capital and multiple rejections, which is when I realized the power of the community to really make a difference. 90% of the equipments that I required to start my first cafe, right from the spoon, second-hand oven, second-hand fridge, were donated by absolute strangers. Our first employee, she came in crawling for the interview because at that point of time, her family could not afford a wheelchair. Today, that same girl sitting on her wheelchair, she manages 10 other people with disabilities. She's the manager for our first cafe and her name is Kirti. As I talk to you, we have hundreds of Kirtis and thousands more that Mitti Cafe has been able to scale across the country. And together, our team members have served over 11 million meals and beverages. And every meal or beverage is an opportunity for our team members with disabilities who are also our change makers to really create awareness about inclusion. It gives me immense pride to say that during the COVID times till today, our team members have served over 6 million Karuna meals to the economically vulnerable, therefore changing the paradigm that persons with disabilities, given the right kind of opportunities and support, can not just support themselves but also support the nation in need.
So her work is also exceptional and truly inspiring. Please look up Mitti Social Initiatives Foundations. They have these cafes which runs with disabled people and giving them chance, unique new beginnings to start and to live, of financial independence and economic empowerment. Well, with this, we have come to the close of the event. The awardees and all the wonderful applicants who have joined us today, who have applied for the award, all your journeys were exceptional, stories wonderful. And, they just remind us of the unwavering determination, passion, and hard work that we can aspire to reach great heights in our own lives and bring a change in the lives of many. And with this, we wrap up the award ceremony. I invite Dr. Emma Ramchandran to propose the vote of thanks.
Once again, good day, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us at this prestigious Women Entrepreneur Awards event. It is an honor to stand before you today, surrounded by such remarkable women who have demonstrated exemplary courage, determination, and innovation in the world of entrepreneurship. We are here to celebrate the achievements and contributions of outstanding women entrepreneurs who have defied norms and shattered glass ceilings. Your resilience, creativity, and dedication have not only impacted the business world, but have also inspired countless individuals. Our mission in organizing this event was to create a platform that amplifies the voices of women in business, a platform that recognizes and encourages the incredible feats of female entrepreneurs. We believe in the transformative power of diversity and inclusion, and today we witness the embodiment of that belief in each of you. To the awardees, your success stories serve as beacons of hope, paving the way for future generations of aspiring entrepreneurs. You have shown us that with passion, perseverance, and a vision, anything is achievable. Your journeys have inspired us all to strive for greatness and embrace the challenges that come our way. A special thanks to our sponsors, Trident Motors, Yes Bank, and gifting partners, William Penn and Himalaya Wellness, who have supported us throughout this journey. Your dedication and generosity have played an indispensable role in making this event a reality. I also want to express my deepest appreciation to our esteemed guests for being here today. Your presence added significance to the celebration, and we hope that you leave with a renewed sense of empowerment and belief in the potential of women in the business world. I would also like to thank Deepika Sharma for her tech support. Thank you once again to our keynote speaker, Mr. Rajesh Dembla, our international chair, Diana Abruzzi, Archana Shirur from Yes Bank, our IWFCI India President, Dr. Daphne Pillai, and Directors of the Board, Selena Joy and Yvette Lee. Congratulations to all the phenomenal women entrepreneurs, Suhasini Sampath, Aruna Sampige, and Alina Alam. Here's to a future where opportunities abound and success knows no bounds. Cheers.
Thank you so much.